Let me tell you the truth no one dares to say. This world doesn't care about your feelings, your tears, or your excuses. It bows to power. It respects strength. And if you don't become powerful, you become invisible. Worse, you become prey. Look around you. Who gets heard? Who gets followed? Who gets paid? It's not the kind, the soft or the agreeable. It's the ones who command their space, who walk with purpose, who forge themselves in fire. The world doesn't hand out trophies for trying. It rewards those who conquer. You think being nice is enough. It's not. You think life is fair. It's not. The system is rigged, but not against the strong. The strong bend the rules. The strong write the rules. And if you're weak, you'll spend your entire life obeying them. Power isn't just money. It's mindset. It's control. It's knowing exactly who you are and what you want, and being willing to sacrifice everything to get it. It's rejecting comfort, because comfort breeds weakness, and weakness gets crushed. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's your liberation. Every early morning, every rep in the gym, every second spent building your mind instead of scrolling nonsense. That's your armor. That's your edge. That's how power is built, quietly, ruthlessly. You've got two choices in life. Either you dominate or you get dominated. You build your empire, brick by brick, or you live under someone else's shadow, praying for raises, begging for approval, existing without ever living. The world respects power, not popularity, not pity, not potential, just raw, undeniable power. So become it. Bold it, or get used to watching someone else live the life you were too weak to fight for. Because in this world, you either rise like a lion or get trampled like a sheep. Power isn't given, it's taken. That's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to admit. People walk around thinking if they're patient, if they play nice, if they keep their head down and follow the rules, eventually someone will notice and hand them the life they deserve. But life doesn't work like that. The world doesn't operate on fairness or hope. It operates on dominance, on leverage, on strength. If you want something in this life, respect freedom, wealth, influence. You don't wait for it. You go out and take it. Because no one is going to hand you power. And if they do, it's because they're using you as a pawn. Real power is seized, not gifted. Look at history. Look at business. Look at the streets. The people who rise to the top aren't the ones waiting to be chosen. They're the ones who create their own path, who disrupt the system, who refuse to settle. They don't ask for permission. They walk into the room like they own it, because deep down, they've built themselves to the point where they do. They've developed their minds, sharpened their instincts, and earned the right to lead. That kind of presence doesn't come from birthright. It's forged through suffering, through discipline, through relentless action. It's the result of saying no to mediocrity 1,000 times a day. The problem is, most people are scared to take power. They've been conditioned to believe it's selfish, toxic, or wrong. But what's truly wrong is living a life of quiet desperation. Waking up every day with someone else's foot on your neck, knowing you were made for more but doing nothing about it. That's not humility. That's fear disguised as virtue. Power doesn't corrupt. Weakness does. Weakness invites manipulation, resentment, bitterness. Power, when earned, when wielded with clarity and control, creates order. It creates opportunity. It builds legacies. When you take power, you take control of your time, your decisions, your future. You stop begging. You stop waiting. You stop explaining yourself to people who wouldn't care if you disappeared tomorrow. You start moving with purpose. You start thinking for yourself. You start leading. And don't confuse that with arrogance. True power isn't loud. It doesn't need to scream. It walks silently, but its presence is undeniable. When you have it, people feel it before you even speak. They look at you differently. They move differently around you because you've become the exception in a world full of excuses. Power isn't for the chosen few. It's for the disciplined few. It's for those who are willing to suffer now so they can dominate later. It's for those who train when others sleep, who build when others party, who stay focused when the world is begging them to be distracted. You want power. Stop consuming and start creating. Stop waiting and start acting. Stop dreaming and start executing. The world doesn't care what you're capable of. It cares what you do. And the moment you stop waiting to be given anything and start taking full ownership of your life, that's when you become unstoppable. Respect is reserved for the strong. That's a rule written into the DNA of this world, and pretending otherwise is just setting yourself up for disappointment. You can be the nicest, kindest, most morally sound person on earth. But if you're weak, if you don't stand tall, if you don't own your presence, the world will walk over you like a doormat. People don't listen to the timid. They don't admire the passive. They don't salute the insecure. They might smile at you. They might even say nice things. But they won't follow you. They won't respect you. And deep down, neither will you. The truth is, respect isn't something you ask for. It's something you command. And that command comes from strength. Not just physical strength, but mental resilience, emotional control, and a presence that can't be ignored. The strong don't have to prove themselves every second. They don't need to scream. Their actions speak volumes. Their energy is undeniable. Walk into a room with someone who's strong, and you'll feel it. It's not ego. It's earned gravity. That's the level you need to operate on if you want to be respected in this world. Strength is built. It's not luck. It's not something you're born with. It's earned in silence. When no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when you're grinding through pain, frustration, and isolation. Respect comes when people see how you move through hardship, when they witness you face chaos and still stand tall, when you keep your word, when you hold your frame, when you don't fold under pressure. That's what gets noticed. That's what earns real respect. Not the fake validation people throw around online, not the shallow compliments from strangers, but the deep, undeniable recognition from those who understand what it takes to be powerful. Most people confuse being liked with being respected. They think if they're agreeable, if they never challenge anyone, they'll be loved, and that's enough. But liked people get forgotten. Respected people get remembered. The respected ones lead the room, shift conversations, make decisions. Being liked is fleeting. Being respected is forever. You earn it once, and it echoes in every space you enter, because your reputation follows you like a shadow. And that respect you build, it becomes leverage in business, in relationships, in people trust the strong. They invest in the strong. They listen to them, learn from them, and align with them, because strength brings certainty. And certainty is magnetic. You don't need to dominate everyone to be respected, but you need to carry yourself like someone who knows exactly who they are. You don't chase respect. You attract it by becoming someone who doesn't need it to validate their existence. Every day you're either building that strength or letting it erode. Every decision, what you eat, how you speak, how you train, how you handle your emotions, it's either strengthening your core or weakening it. And make no mistake, weakness is visible. People can sense it. They exploit it. The world isn't kind to those who can't defend themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. So understand this: if you want to be respected, don't beg for it. Don't hope for it. Don't expect it. Build yourself into someone who demands it without ever saying a word. Because when you're strong, the world responds. People take note. Doors open. Opportunities appear. And not because you asked, but because you became someone too strong to ignore. Weakness is a choice in a world full of options. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth most people aren't ready to hear. We live in a time where everything is at your fingertips. Knowledge, training tools, mentorship, entire libraries of information, all one click away. Yet, despite having access to more opportunity than any generation before us, millions still choose weakness every day, not because they're incapable, but because they're lazy, distracted, or too emotionally soft to face the truth about themselves. They romanticize struggle instead of destroying it. They defend mediocrity instead of waging war against it. They treat weakness like a personality trait instead of what it truly is: a decision. There's a big difference between being dealt a bad hand and choosing to stay there. Everyone goes through setbacks. Everyone feels doubt. Everyone starts at zero, but not everyone stays there. The difference between those who rise and those who rot is what they choose to do next. Do you sit there crying for sympathy? Or do you get up, sharpen your mind, train your body, and force the world to take notice? Weakness is only permanent if you let it be, and most people let it. Not because they can't escape it, but because it's easier to blame, easier to scroll, easier to avoid responsibility. Strength takes effort. Weakness takes nothing. That's why most people settle for it. What people call bad luck is usually just a series of weak choices. Skip the gym. Weak choice. Didn't read because it's boring. Weak choice. Gave into impulse because discipline is hard. Weak choice. And every one of those decisions compounds. Over time, they shape your identity. They mold you into someone who can't handle pressure, who cracks when life demands more. Then you look around and wonder why others are passing you by. Why they're respected. Why they're rich. Why they're fulfilled. It's not luck. It's strength forged daily in the fire of hard choices. And you had the same options, the scary part. Weakness doesn't stay neutral, it grows. The more you feed it, the more control it takes. It shows up in your posture, your habits, your mindset. It bleeds into your relationships, your career, your dreams. Suddenly you're not just out of shape or broke, you're broken. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And it all started with small decisions you made when you thought they didn't matter. But here's the good news. Just like weakness is a choice, so is strength. You can flip the switch today, right now. You can choose to stop lying to yourself. You can choose discomfort. Choose discipline. Choose the path that breaks you in the short term, but builds you into something unstoppable in the long term. No one's going to save you. No one's coming. That's the best part. Because the moment you take full responsibility, you take full power. And that's where the transformation begins. In a world drowning in softness, choosing to be strong is the most rebellious thing you can do. And when you make that choice consistently, people notice. Life changes. Respect follows. Doors open. You begin to move differently, think differently, live differently. You're no longer at the mercy of your environment. You become the force that shapes it. So stop acting like weakness is your fate. It's not. It's a decision. And you're one choice away from rewriting the entire script. The game of life doesn't care how good your intentions are. It doesn't reward potential. It rewards performance. Either you dominate or you get dominated. There's no middle ground. And people who think life is supposed to be fair, balanced, and forgiving are already setting themselves up to lose. This world is brutal if you're soft. It will eat you alive if you don't learn to bite back. You either become the one calling the shots, or you're the one constantly reacting to someone else's commands. That's how power works. You're either holding it, or you're being crushed by it. Everything around you is designed to push you into a corner, to make you obedient, to make you comfortable with being average. You're trained from a young age to fall in line, to not make noise, to behave. And before you know it, you're an adult with no fire left in you. You follow rules that don't serve you. You take orders from people you don't respect. You live a life that was built for someone else, and you convince yourself that's just how things are. But the truth is, you were never meant to obey. You were meant to conquer. You were built for more than just survival. You were built for dominance, for leadership, for impact. But only if you wake up and take it. Dominating doesn't mean stepping on others. It means stepping fully into your potential. It means taking ownership of every area of your life, your time, your health, your mind, your money, your environment. It means refusing to be passive about anything. People think being dominant is about aggression or arrogance, but that's nonsense. Real dominance is about control of yourself first, and then your circumstances. It's about having the clarity to see things for what they are and the courage to shape them into what you want. Most people avoid that responsibility. They don't want the pressure. But what they fail to realize is that giving up responsibility means giving up power. And without power, you're just another pawn. You have to be willing to do what others won't. That's the price of dominance. You have to train when you're tired. Think when others are distracted. Build when others are sleeping. Everyone wants the throne, but no one wants to bleed for it. No one wants to wake up at 5 a.m., to sacrifice weekends, to say no to comfort. But that's what it takes. And that's why the top is so empty, because only a few are willing to pay the price. But those few, they live on a different level. They don't chase opportunities. They create them. They don't seek validation. They command respect. They don't fear competition. They are the competition. You've got to ask yourself every day, am I being the hunter or the hunted? Am I shaping my life, or am I letting someone else write the script? The second you start letting other people make your decisions, you've already lost the game, and it doesn't matter how talented or smart you are. If you're not willing to act, to lead, to dominate, you'll always be under the control of someone who is. Life is war, not in the literal sense, but in the psychological, emotional, and financial sense. Every day you're fighting for your future. And if you're not fighting with everything you've got, you're losing ground. The difference between winners and losers isn't intelligence or luck, it's mindset. It's the decision to attack rather than wait, to push rather than hesitate, to dominate rather than comply. Because when you own your power, when you claim your space and refuse to shrink, life responds. The world steps aside for the man who knows where he's going. So stop being afraid of pressure. Stop playing defense. Take the damn lead. Discipline is the ultimate superpower in a world full of distraction. While everyone else is chasing dopamine, swiping endlessly, binging useless content, and complaining about how nothing's working out for them, the disciplined man is building, brick by brick, hour by hour. He doesn't care about how he feels. He cares about what needs to be done. Because he understands one thing very clearly: feelings are fleeting, results are not. Discipline is what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who merely dream. Everyone wants the outcome. Everyone wants the reward. But almost no one wants the routine. And that's where the real war is fought, in the silent, unglamorous grind when no one is watching. The truth is, if you only act when you're motivated, you'll lose. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. Discipline is logical. It's structured. It doesn't care if you're tired, upset, or uninspired. It just asks one thing: did you show up? Did you follow through? Did you do what you said you were going to do? And if the answer is yes, day after day, the results take care of themselves. Everyone's searching for shortcuts, hacks, or secret formulas, but nothing beats showing up consistently every single day. Even when it sucks, even when you're doubting yourself, even when no one claps for you. Discipline doesn't just build your body, your wealth, or your skills, it builds your identity. Every time you conquer a moment of weakness, you send a signal to your brain: I am in control. I do what I decide to do. That belief stacks over time until you're not just someone who works hard. You're someone who refuses to fail. And people feel that. They see the way you carry yourself, the way you execute, the way you move. You become undeniable. Because discipline turns you into something rare in today's world: reliable. And reliability builds trust, credibility, and long-term power. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do. It's easy to plan and post and pretend. But discipline isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's not for likes. It's silent, ruthless. It doesn't seek approval. It produces results. When you train your mind to obey your commands, regardless of mood or external pressure, you unlock a version of yourself that most people never even meet. Most people don't have a time problem. They have a discipline problem. They're not out of opportunity. They're just out of control. Their emotions drive the car, and their excuses are riding shotgun. Discipline is the cure to weakness, to failure, to regret. You don't need more motivation. You need more accountability. You need a standard so high that quitting feels like betrayal. You need to turn your schedule into law and your word into contract. There is no greatness without discipline. There is no legacy without consistency. You don't need to be the most talented, the most gifted, or even the smartest in the room. But if you're the most disciplined, you'll eventually outrun every single one of them. You'll be the one who finishes what others start. You'll be the one who keeps climbing after others quit. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop acting like you need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect mood. What you need is to act repeatedly, relentlessly. Discipline is what turns average into elite. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. And every day, with every choice, you either build it or burn it. Choose wisely. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition. It's the trap that looks like success, feels like safety, and quietly destroys any drive you had to become something more. The moment you start getting comfortable, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start dying mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even financially. The world tells you to seek balance, to take it easy, to enjoy the moment. That sounds nice on paper, but the truth is greatness doesn't live in comfort. It lives in pressure. In discomfort. In that space where you're not sure if you're going to make it, but you keep going anyway. That's where power is forged. Every man who's ever done something extraordinary chose discomfort. He chose early mornings when he didn't want to get out of bed. He chose the gym when his body screamed for rest. He chose sacrifice when others chose pleasure. Comfort convinces you that you've done enough. It tells you that you can slow down, that you deserve to coast. And maybe you do. But if you want to dominate, if you want to become undeniable, then enough is never enough. You've got to push past it. You've got to willingly step into the fire of challenge and discipline again and again until it becomes your new normal. Discomfort is your compass. It tells you exactly where the growth is. If something feels scary, if it feels hard, if it makes your stomach twist, run toward it. That's the path. Most people avoid it. They shrink back. They stay in routines, jobs, and relationships that no longer serve them just because it's easier than facing the unknown. But the unknown is where transformation happens. You've got to get obsessed with testing your limits. You've got to start chasing the version of you that only shows up under pressure. Because that version, the one who performs under stress, who doesn't break when it gets hard, that version wins. Being comfortable is addictive. It lulls you into a false sense of security. But while you're busy enjoying how easy things are, someone else is out there training harder, thinking sharper, working longer. And when you meet them, they will crush you. Because they've been sharpening their sword while yours gathered dust. You don't rise in the ranks by chilling. You rise by earning your place over and over again. Don't let comfort numb your hunger. Keep the edge sharp. Keep the fire alive. Make it a habit to challenge yourself. Take cold showers. Lift heavier, run farther. Read deeper. Make bolder moves. Say what others are scared to say. Build businesses. Speak up. Take risks. These things aren't just tests. They're training. They teach your mind to stop panicking and start performing under tension. The more you make discomfort your environment, the more you become unbreakable in any environment. That's the edge no one can teach you. You have to earn it by suffering on purpose. You'll never know what you're truly capable of until you strip away the comfort and force yourself to adapt. That's when you meet the beast within. That's when you realize you've been playing small for far too long. The world isn't going to hand you success just because you want it. It's going to throw everything at you to see if you're serious. And if you fold at the first sign of discomfort, you don't deserve the crown. But if you keep showing up bloody, tired, sore, but relentless, you'll get everything you came for. Comfort is the enemy. Challenge it daily and dominate.